Hi, and welcome to Living My Faith. That show we spotlight those individuals that are really living their faith. I'm your host, James Fenimore, and today we have two very special guests joining us. Joining us is Rick Meyer and Ayodeji Anifowose. All right, was I close? Let's just start there. All right. Wait, I was talking to Rick. No. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
All right.
Well, it's a great honor to be here.
So, Rick, why don't we start with you? We start the show with one simple question. How are you living your faith?
Well, I try to just submit to the Lord every day. I'm a graduate of Dallas Seminary, and I have a ministry running on faith. And I say try because it's never 100%, but my goal is to start out every day saying, Lord, guide my every thought, my every word, my every action. And I'm a runner. I've run over 142,000 miles in my life. So one of the things we did in running was focused on our first 5 steps off the starting line. So I try to think about that every day is what's my first 5 steps off the starting line of every day. And with that, I try to encourage others to consider what are their first 5 steps off the starting line every day. And we know from 2 Corinthians 5:9 that success is pleasing Jesus Christ. And so with that in mind, what are our first 5 steps off the line, the starting line of each day to help us please Jesus Christ, to serve him and his people for his glory?
That's beautiful. I do want to clarify, though, you're not actually running from something. You're just running for love of the game, right? That's a lot of running.
Typically.
All right. Okay, just making sure. Okay. DJ, how about you? What are you? How are you living your faith?
I think I've been living my faith on a daily basis. I'm looking for every opportunity to add value to people around me, make an impact, because it's a way of gratitude unto the Lord. Everything I do on a daily basis, the church, I'm a pastor in a Rise Church. I'm also the CEO of my LLC. We publish books. I've written about 40 books now, and I'm writing more as well. We have animations, a cartoon that we're trying to build up for children. It's everything is projected towards adding value, making lives of every individual, every family better. So everything I do revolves around adding value, making impact. Everything I do, from morning to night, wake up in the morning, I'm waking up for a meeting, do my morning devotion. So every day, and then help my children. I have 4 daughters, 4 beautiful daughters, and that I help to see life that God want them to see, and see who God then want them to be, and then engage with people every day. I go to speaking engagements. Everything I do. I'm on the plane. I'm on a train. I'm on the sea. I'm on the land. Everywhere, I'm making impact, adding value, allowing others to see Jesus through me in all I do. My books have been tremendous help to the glory of God, helping people to see marriage better, helping children. I write children books too, helping children to see who God wants them to be and living their life to the fullest. And I think I'm just taking it a bit by bit, a day after the other, to be able to achieve all that God has called me to do, to let others see Jesus in me.
That's wonderful. And thank you for your obedience with that. Rick, your running ministry, I mean, it's really interesting. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and how that, you impact the kingdom with that?
Sure. Yeah, I've been running since I was 11 years old, so that's been more than 3 years ago, for those kind of curious. No, I'm kidding. About 48 years. I don't know that I ever go into a run with an agenda, but rather just through conversation. During the run, over time, you talk about seemingly literally everything. I don't know about literally everything, but seemingly everything under the sun. I remember when I lived in Dallas for 9 years, I remember running with a group, and one particular guy had a large investment firm, and he was deciding whether or not to purchase a larger home, and one of those multi-million-dollar homes in Dallas, and whether to leave his current home and go to the new home. And obviously there was a number of factors involved. One of the factors I invited him to consider was comparing how he and his family can serve the Lord in their current house versus how they can serve the Lord in their new house. And obviously that's multifaceted, and that isn't the only factor, but I mean, it's a huge one. And to make a short story long, as I like to say, seeing if everybody's listening, to make a short story long, they end up staying in their current house. And one of the factors was, in their current home in Dallas, their neighbors consisted of 3 widows. And they realized by staying in that current home, they could minister and help those 3 widows. And so it's those types of conversations. Sometimes it's just lighthearted, but oftentimes it's deeper. And what I've found over the years, there have been those that I've ran with and or indirectly ministered through running that began as atheists, and they later came on to profess the name of Christ, and they've tagged me in social media. And it's not all me. I mean, God uses all of us. And I'm just always humble that he mercifully uses me in just any way he can, as well as those that have gone from atheists to believers. There's been some that have, numerous ones that have matured in their faith. And there again, it's all God. I'm just a small component. I think back to when I ran here in Manhattan, Kansas, where I live now. I ran here in high school. My senior year in high school, we lined up on the starting line of the state cross country here in Manhattan, Kansas. We're the defending state champs. We're trying to repeat for the first time in 20 years. And our number one runner, I was our number two, our number one runner, led our fifth and final prayer saying, Lord, help us run a race to glorify you, whether first place or last place. And that prayer, that's been over 40 years ago, and that sticks with me. And I try to invite others to consider that prayer, not only for their running, but for their business, their family, and everything. But God's love and loving others as much as we love ourselves above all else, saying, Lord, whether I make $1 million or lose $1 million, Lord, whether I look like an idiot or look like a genius, all for your glory, Lord. Amen. And I just try to share that with other runners.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. DJ, we're short, a little short on time, but I'd like to ask you, if you just had one piece of advice for maybe somebody that was new to faith, how they could be living out their faith every day and staying close to God, what would you give them?
I think not to make things look too complicated. I tell people it's as simple as taking it one day after the other. But the first thing is you must always start your day with the Lord, because that shows that you trust Him. That shows that you live for Him. Always start your day with the Lord, and then make sure that in all that you do, you acknowledge Him. Everything that you do, as little as even cooking in the kitchen. I cook a lot. I involve the Lord even in the kitchen. There is nothing too small or too big that you can't involve the Lord. So to really live your faith, allow everything. I tell people, I teach about, I'm a married counselor. I tell couples that even your intimacy, God needs to be involved. Everything. There is nothing too small, nothing too big for the Lord to be involved in, and it helps you to shape the life you're living for God the way it should be, involving Him in all, and then you will see Him, showcasing Himself through you in all that you do, and everybody can see the sign. As the Bible says that by those signs, by those fruits, that we shall know them, that they are children of God. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been such a pleasure. I've so enjoyed this conversation. I want you to know all your information is going to be right below this video, so if people want to reach out to you, support the businesses and the ministry, they'll have that ability to right below this video. And thank you again for joining us. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
God bless, gentlemen. On behalf of these fine gentlemen, I'm James Fenimore. This has been Living My Faith. We can't wait to see you next time.